Hi, everybody. It's Hallie Bell and
Michelle
and
and
our special guest.
Ellie.
yay!
I did
And
it.
this is our new episode of Cover to Cover Girls. We are discussing First Lie Wins. I am so excited to dive into this book. Ellie is our special guest, so she has to get stuck with the synopsis. But luckily, she came prepared.
Well, and she picked
printed
this
it.
book. She picked it, so
So I guess we're out of a job.
yeah.
Because I've never printed anything out for this podcast.
No.
I love printing.
And she can afford a printer
And she can
Yes.
afford a printer, which is a lot more to say than
than us.
Okay.
All right, take her away with the synopsis.
Yay!
Okay. I'm going to start to just get everybody in with the quote.
Ooh.
So, there's a saying that goes, the first lie wins. Not the small lie, but the one that changes the game. The one that is deliberate. The lie that sets the stage for everything to come after it. And once the lie is told, it's what most people believe to be true. The first lie has to be the strongest, the most important, and the one that has to be told. Ooh. Okay. Here's the synopsis now from Goodreads. I'm quoting. Evie Porter has everything a nice Southern girl could want. A perfect doting boyfriend, a house with a white picket fence and a garden, a fancy group of friends. The only catch, Evie Porter doesn't exist.
Dun, dun, dun.
The identity comes first. Dun dun dun. Evie Porter. Once she's given a name and location by her mysterious boss, Mr. Smith, she learns everything there is to know about the town and the people in it. Then the mark, Ryan Sumner. The last piece of the puzzle is the job. Evie isn't privy to Mr. Smith's real identity, but she knows this job will be different. Ryan has gotten under her skin, and she's starting to envision a different sort of life for herself. But Evie can't make any mistakes, especially after what happened last time. Because the one thing she's worked her the one thing she's worked her entire life to keep clean, the one identity she could always go back to, her real identity, just walked right into this town. Evie Porter must stay one step ahead of her past while making sure there's still a future in front of her. The stakes couldn't be higher, but then Evie has always liked a challenge. But when an unexpected surprise reveals itself, Evie begins to wonder if she is on the job or she is the job.
Whoa.
Bum, bum, bum. Goodreads nailed it.
Nailed it.
Mhm.
And if you had told me this was going to be a secret agent book,
I know.
I would not have believed you.
What? No. I didn't know anything about this book going into it, and then when her job becomes apparent, I was like, oh, well, that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes a
Yes.
lot more sense, and we should have said a little bit more up front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I had a hard time. The first 3 chapters were really like, I'm like, where is this going?
Mhm.
It's just about this
Yeah.
backstory. She's just being shady. And like, I feel like the Evie at the beginning of the book is not the Evie at the end of the book. And not
Yeah.
really because of character development, but
Mm-mm.
because like of a character elaboration.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like we could have had some more elaboration up front. But I love the book.
Yes. And that's why I liked her, because she's not an unreliable narrator, I don't think. She's a very calculated narrator. Like, she reveals information. She doesn't make you feel stupid. She's not lying to you. She just comes out with the information when she decides, like, it's time. So
Yeah.
that's why I liked listening to her. Okay, I want your
Do
opinion,
you?
because you
Do
also
you?
finished it the latest.
I finished this book 20 minutes ago, and
Yeah.
Earlier than I expected.
I have my
honestly,
tea.
early.
Let's hear it.
I don't think I've had enough time to process the book, but my one hot take is that I think that this author, Ashley Elston, I'm looking at the book right now. I think that she couldn't come up with a good enough story, which is why she kept adding all the stories about the aliases.
Okay. I'm here for the take.
Like, there wasn't enough, so she was like, well, let's talk about this governor. And then, oh, let's talk about this football team. And I was like, no, I don't want to hear about all that.
It's called building a plot.
But not a good No, it was a good plot. It was a good plot. It was good. And Ellie
I'm sorry. I guess that's why Octavia Spencer is developing a screenplay as we speak. Oh,
Yeah.
it's not a good book.
I didn't say it wasn't a good read. I said that there were a lot of side stories that didn't necessarily need to happen.
Okay.
Oh no.
What was your
I was like,
favorite
this
side story,
everything-
though?
You know what this is, though? This book
Let her go.
is
Let her
the
go.
inside of our brains.
It is. I agree.
Ellie, Michelle, and I, we have these brains. This girl is spiraling. And as I was reading it, I was just like, wow, have I been in a dark car with these two girls that I'm about to tell?
Our 10-year secret?
We have a 10-year secret.
We
but
thought we were
also,
spies, though.
We are
Listen,
spies, Ellie.
I have
Please.
been in the
True.
floorboard
Well-
of the car with these women, and I don't want to say that. I don't want to hear any of you say that you don't think that any of this could be realistic because we have been there.
No, it could be
Paranoid.
realistic. It could be realistic. This whole book is very realistic in my opinion.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, I think that the reason I loved her is because I couldn't do what she did. Like being a ghost.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a mortgage. I can't just leave. But I love the idea of that. Like I
She
love
has
being
she has
able
a
to
printer
just-
she has to make payments on.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
She might be the smartest
money's tied up in that.
character.
She
might
is.
be the smartest character I've read in a long time. Like the
I
way that
agree.
she goes about things.
Yeah.
I'm like, I wish my mind would work like that. You know, like how they used to take water bottles from us when you would take a test because kids would write
Yes,
answers on
yeah.
the water bottles.
That was me.
How does your mind come up with that? I'm like, I cannot think like a criminal.
Just
Like
like
a
write it on your
criminal.
sock or whatever. There was a lot of ways. But
A
yeah,
lot
like
of
in the
ways, too.
in the apartment scene where she's getting it ready, she's like dumping out half of the shampoo
Yeah,
bottles.
Yes.
The ketchup,
What?
I would have never thought of that.
I
Never
just
would have thought of that.
what?
I was
And
And
he
she's
didn't
like,
really
oh yeah, I'm about
notice, but-
ready.
Yeah.
And he's like being thorough. And I was just so worried that he was going to be Mr. Smith. Like, I
That's the
had a
only note I
moment-
wrote.
Ugh, I
Really?
was just so stressed. I was like, if she doesn't get the guy at the end of this, I'm just gonna like have a conniption because like this
that
book has
was
been
not a
so
romance.
stressful.
Well, you know what's interesting? She started as a romance writer. That's what she originally
Wow.
was. So I thought that was interesting. And I did listen
Yeah.
to one little bit that she said, and she was a photographer. So she said that she likes to have visuals, and I can relate to that. And this
Oh,
woman
yeah.
interviewing her asked her how this came about, and she said something like she couldn't picture what she was going to do, and then all of a sudden she vividly pictured the dinner scene. She pictured the table, and she pictured Evie, and she was like, "Let's have fun with this character." And I was like, "That's
Ooh.
awesome." I love the idea of let's have fun with this character, see what she can do. I love that it's a giant chess match, and she's always ahead.
Oh,
Always.
I love that. This book is a giant chess match.
Uh-huh.
Stealing a rook, jumping over, like getting a
Yeah.
bishop, running point on the whole thing.
And wait, what's the IT guy's name?
Devin.
Devin.
I
He's
love
the
him.
rook of this book. Like he is the MVP.
Great run.
He's the smartest
He-
person I've ever seen.
He's one of my favorite characters, actually.
First I've ever known.
He's brilliant.
He is brilliant.
I want to be him. I
Get that
want to
guy.
be
Oh
him.
my gosh. She would have failed without him. And I love that she
Yes.
admits that. Like I love
Mhm.
that she admits she is smart, but like he's smarter in other capacities.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
I mean, even with the third, like with her sister, what's her name? I cannot remember.
Amy?
The Amy. Even
Oh, yeah.
with the other
Gasped.
like I mean, that was crazy. I did not see that coming that
No.
she was going to be in on it.
Wait, they're
Yeah.
sisters?
They're
no,
not
she
really
has
sisters.
a sister.
Oh, okay, got
Amy
it.
has a sister.
Heather.
I thought, and she ends up with. She was
But
kind of an ancillary character, though.
Yeah.
Amy takes Evie's last name
Yes.
so that they
Yes,
can
yes,
be
yes.
like
Yeah.
Florida sisters.
Oh, yeah. That's right. That's right. That's right.
And I was flabbergasted with her involvement. And I just love what all they brought to the table, like each individual one. And probably my favorite scene was the
Ooh.
stealing of the painting.
That was mine too. I was like, that's a
Seriously?
hot
Oh
take.
my gosh.
She was about to cut that. Her writing team told her to cut that. And she was like,
What?
no. I liked it because I was like, this is like low stakes. Well, it was kind of low stakes in theory. She just wanted to win. She was so competitive. And Devin shined. He was amazing in that scene.
Yes.
He was so good. And it was National Treasure mixed with PG-13 Spy Kids. It was insane. I loved
And
it.
it unveiled about Mr. Smith's
Yeah.
personality.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like it went into like just how messed up he is. He's probably like the creepiest villain I've read in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
And to find out that he was the
Psychopath.
bellboy was
Yeah.
like, ugh.
I was sad. I liked George. I thought there could be
I
a
did
budding
too.
romance there.
I thought it was.
I thought there
Okay.
was a romance.
Same.
It's time for me to confess something, guys. Here
Oh
she
no.
goes. I always read the last page of every book. I always do. Hallie Bell knows this. And it said something, something, something like, congratulations, Mrs. Smith. And so the whole book, I thought that either Ryan or one of those boys was Mr. Smith and that they were in love. So I was hoping it was George. Not George, Devin or George.
Oh, Devin?
I thought
Wait,
her and
Devin's her
George.
sidekick.
I was hoping that her and George
Oh.
would end up together, but I
Yes,
thought that Mr.
yes.
Smith was Ryan.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's my hot take.
That would have ruined the book for me if Mr. Smith was Ryan.
Oh, I wanted
But
it to be
also,
him.
what sort of ruined the book for me was her becoming Mrs. Smith. I wanted her to do some good in the world. I didn't want her to get back into her schemes.
Oh, I love it.
I think she was trying to take over in a good way. Like they were using it, like her and Amy. I love women, helping women, just like being the boss.
I hope so. I hope
Yeah.
so.
Mhm.
I think
Now,
it's for good
I know,
things,
not
but we don't know.
convinced.
We
You guys
don't know.
think
You're right.
no, but I hope so.
Do you
And
think
if not,
maybe she was in
Evie,
on it the whole time?
I'm watching you. Okay, because that would not be right if she
Yeah.
went back to crime after all of this.
I love that she's in crime. I think she's so morally gray. I think she's so morally gray, and that is so refreshing nowadays. Like there's it's not black and white. She always has truth to her lies. It's brilliant. She's doing when people steal bread for their starving family, who's right, who's wrong. I mean, obviously they're feeding their family. She's trying to figure it out, and I love that she's one step ahead.
Mhm.
Always. Women are always one step ahead. We just are.
That's
We
just it.
are, and that's what this book really proves. Is
It
that
did.
the Mr. Smith can't take the Mrs. Smith.
Amen. And with that, the episode's done.
Yes. That is
And scene.
nailed it, guys.
Closing
Nailed it.
argument. Women are
Yes.
smarter than men.
I mean, how many steps do you have to think ahead, especially as a mom with kids, you have to when you're packing to go out somewhere, you have to think a million steps ahead.
Sometimes I feel like Evie, in the sense that I'm like putting out bombs.
Yeah.
Fires?
Today I preemptively did dishes before dinner so that like we didn't have more dishes after dinner. You know,
Incredible.
it's the small things, and it definitely doesn't equate.
I think it does. I think it does.
I mean, she loves the small things. It's all about small things in this book.
It's all about the small things. She really knows her stuff. Now, let me ask you guys. Okay, so your favorite scene was definitely the paint scene. Michelle, what was your favorite scene?
Okay, I've got a couple. I've got a few, actually.
Oh.
My favorite scene one of my favorite scenes was when she marched her happy butt into the Ford dealership and like threatened the booster sponsor.
That was good. She goes, you go to the sponsors.
It was so Tennessee coded, like so Tennessee private football. Like
Phil Fulmer.
Oh
We're
my God,
talking
Phil
to you.
Fulmer. Exactly. But now hear me out. I know it's cheesy. I also really loved when she opened the block box and it was just the swan, the
Yeah.
origami swan. Amazing. Amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when Amy was like, I would have paid to see his reaction. Me too. And that
Yeah.
brings me to another point. I usually don't like a dual POV, but I wish we would have gotten some of Mr. Smith's POV without knowing who he was.
That could have been
Mm.
amazing.
That could have been
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Like a diary entry
Mhm.
scattered throughout, like a couple of chapters. It's kind
Yeah.
of like a new format of reading. I've read it in a lot of books lately of
Yeah.
like the mystery POV, and that would have definitely added some spice to this book.
I agree completely. Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, I love not knowing what he's thinking, and I think that that kind of builds some of the anxiety through the book. There's a there's a there's a like a certain threshold of anxiety that I feel like an author builds before she has to like break it, you know?
Mhm.
And I think that maybe if she had given away his train of thought, it might not have like built
Yeah.
as much as she wanted it to. But I do think that could have been interesting.
Now, what do you think was the moment in which she broke the anxiety? Because I had a couple of them. But like what was the moment where
Mm.
you were like, "Oh,
For me, I like let out a air when she got through the cops. And I think that she did too as like the
Same.
character. Like I was able to breathe.
when
Like I was
she
like,
said
she made it past the cops. Now
when
it's
she
just
was
Mr.
like,
Smith in her way.
yeah, when she said, "I can honestly tell you that was Luca Marino."
Yes,
And I'm like,
that's when I was like, yes.
Okay, there's this series called Wheel of Time that Greg reads that has these witches in them and they can't tell a lie. And they're like really wise, but like one of their like fate, it'll like kill them if they tell a lie. So they have to like tell truths. And
"Mhm.
Evie was like doing that through this book. She was like, yeah, I wasn't in that. Like you're like Evie
Yeah.
Porter wasn't in that. Like the way that she
Technically, yeah."
framed things was to
Yeah.
like so that she could go back and be like, it wasn't a lie.
Mhm.
Mhm. Wait,
And I
don't
feel like
you
a lot
love
of teenagers could learn from that.
How her and Devin talk to each other? Like how they go on the Instagram?
I want us to do that.
Can
I
we
love that.
please?
And they have 3 favorite restaurants and then they sit in the back and it is so smart.
Oh my
That's one
gosh.
of my favorites.
Yeah.
I love
It's
that.
amazing.
But when she first did it, I literally started highlighting immediately. I was like, Evie's lost it. What is she doing? Why is she commenting on Instagram at a time
On the
like
Skims
this?
Instagram page.
Yeah.
Party of 4, number 2 favorite song.
It's like
Yeah.
hashtag Twinkies over everything. I was like, what does that
Yeah.
mean?
I
And
love
he's
it.
like, there's a computer built into the Twinkie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
It was so good, and I love Ryan when and what made me the most anxious, I love that Ryan came on the car trip. I was like, "Oh, they're building trust." And then when he was
I
talking
hated
in the
it.
That was
at
the
the
worst
vending
part.
machine,
Same.
Ah,
Okay, the vending machine was a
hi.
gasp. No, I gasped audibly in this
me,
book when Luca dies. I was like, "What?"
yeah.
When we
Yes.
found out, and then that I gasped. And but I did not like he came in the car with her. I was feeling
I didn't
anxiety
either.
for her because she didn't want to lie to him, but she had to, and you knew she was getting stuff done. She needed to get it done.
Well, and that justified to me
Yeah.
that Ryan was Mr. Smith.
Yes. Oh, it
Yeah.
did.
I was like, well, he has to be. He's like, he needs to watch her. He has to go with her.
What if he was and he
Fair,
like loved
but
her but hated her and wanted to kill her? Like that
Now
would be
that
so
we
messed
got to
up.
turn that. Someone write a fanfic where they're, you know,
yeah, something else. I liked that there was a
Just go
separation of
watch
church
Mr.
and
and
state
Mrs.
with
Smith.
them.
literally Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
It just was so crazy. And when he was talking to George next to the vending machines, I just about like I was so stressed. And he comes in and she has to act like she's in the shower. I wouldn't have been
I was
able to.
sweating.
I would have been like,
I was sweating.
"Get your hands off me,
Yeah.
Oh my God.
you filthy animal!"
Now, there was only like one real part where I gasped, and you guys are going to be shocked by which one it was. It was this
What is it?
scene It was the scene where she goes, I think they're in Nashville, and she like looks up and she sees the banner that says re-elect Andrew Marshall. And I was like, oh, her cover's gonna be blown.
Oh, I didn't.
Oh.
Oh, okay. I'm like, okay, I didn't guess
That's
that one,
funny.
I was
but that was
so
a moment.
nervous. I was so nervous.
Politics make me stressed in general, and like when she was like dealing with the politician,
my
I was like, oh my
God.
god, like this is
Now that was
high
another
stakes.
scene I loved, was when she like
Mhm.
threw his drunken body on the lawn chair. I was like, this is good. This is
And she
good.
was like, you're gonna learn a lesson. Don't let your guard down.
Yeah. When in reality, he's like the best politician you could ever imagine.
Yeah, and
She
she
like
didn't take
ruined
advantage
him,
of him.
sorta.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
not really. I feel like that was her whole MO. She didn't want.
Yeah.
She always
Yeah.
messes up on these jobs, sneaky, like messes up because her morals come out. You know, she
Oh my
doesn't
gosh.
fulfill that. Like the little boy
The
with
little
the mom
boy.
and
I was just
everything.
about to say.
That broke my heart.
I
You know,
forgot
when
about
she
that. I
describes
completely forgot about
leaving,
that.
that broke
Yeah.
my heart. It was so
Now,
sad.
that was a
And
great
I
scene for me too, was when she was
Yeah.
like, when the wife caught her and then like,
Yeah.
falls over.
that's when the stress really started building for me. Like when the wife
Mhm.
came out of the bathroom. I
Mhm.
wasn't stressed in the
Mhm.
book until that point. And honestly, that's what hooked me. And I don't know what page that's on, but like it took a minute. Like it was probably
Mhm.
like page 60, 70 that like
Yeah.
really started. Like I was like, oh, and then I just flew through to the end.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I agree.
Yeah.
That was definitely a
Same.
turning point for me.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look through my notes and see if there were any other quotes. Oh, when she found out, how did you guys feel when she found out that he had killed all of the people participating in the painting contest?
It
To
was
me,
go for it, Ellie.
I was trying to think. I did not have. I expected it, frankly.
Really?
I kind
Well,
of
he
did, and
killed Luca.
yeah, exactly. That I didn't expect. That's when I gasped. I
Yeah.
didn't so much find that as shocking. What I found more shocking was that she went to Amy and she tried to form
Yeah.
an alliance.
Mm-hmm.
And the response from Amy and the way she felt, I think that's what I wasn't expecting, but I was not shocked. I was just waiting for him to up the stakes. So that wasn't as shocking. It was terrible. I hate innocent lives being,
Yeah.
thrown away,
Yeah.
but
I think I was so shocked because I didn't believe that Luca was like dead in the way that we thought she was dead. Like
Yeah.
she hadn't yet
Mhm.
worked out like Luca's death really.
yeah.
And I was like, is he a killer? Like did he and
Did
then it was
he?
like he is a killer.
Yes. Yeah.
And for what? Maybe because he has some shady trucking business and is actually Ryan. I'm kidding. I refuse to believe that he's not
And
Ryan. I'm sorry.
in a different, yeah.
That's Michelle's alternate ending. We really do need an alternate ending where it's Ryan.
Yeah. And
And
they're
I
in on
won't
it
read it.
together. I don't know. That whole scene to me where he kills off everyone was very I never saw the movie, but it was like where they go into the house and they're all playing hide and seek. That was what it was giving to me, was like, oh, you're all here performing this task, and then whoever can't do it dies.
Oh my
Did you guys
gosh.
And
watch
no
that
one takes
movie?
it hide and seek. Yeah.
Is that what it was called?
She's
Yeah.
like,
Wait, is it? Are we talking about the one where it's the bride? It's the bride,
Yes,
and
The
she's.
Bride.
Yes, I saw that.
Mm. I'm
I
like,
did
that
see
movie
that.
where they
if
play hide
anybody's
and
seen it,
seek.
Ellie's seen it.
And it's
I've,
one
ne-
of those. Yeah,
I've never
the
seen a
name
movie.
is It's like the name is hide and seek. No, but and it's interesting because the characters never think it's real. They're like ha 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 ha, and then it's until someone gets their head chopped off or something. They're like, oh no,
Yeah.
this is real.
And then they're dead.
I just
Yes.
think this book is for us paranoid girlies. Like, I just really think that this book is for people that have anxiety and people that like
Yes.
to turn situations into bigger things than they are, which is
Yeah.
me.
Well,
Mhm.
have you guys read any more of her books?
I actually
No,
haven't.
doesn't she write teen fiction?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Mm.
YA, young adult or
YA, Hallie
something.
Bell.
And that's what I heard. I was like,
YA
that's
is
something with a
Sorry.
cult.
Canceled. The teens are like, we're not teens, we're young adults.
The teens who are listening to this podcast. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, how do you think do you think that her writing was young adult? Thoughts,
No, I feel
comments?
like it was very mature. I feel like it was like Sally Hepworth, like writing to us,
Mhm.
30 to 40-year-olds.
Break. Give me a break. I feel like me and Sally Hepworth are on this like constant cat and mouse game. Like she's
Yeah,
releasing a
Stop.
book, I hate
love-hate,
it.
like,
Then she
ooh.
releases a book and I love it. And then I hate on her and she follows me and I'm like, Anna.
Michelle, listen, we are this close to getting her on the podcast, and if you screw
I'm gonna ruin it. I'm gonna ruin it. Did you guys follow-up question? Did you guys read it? Because I went back and forth
Yeah.
between audiobook and reading it.
I read it.
I read it, but when you told me that you were listening to it and reading it, I was like, Michelle is a serial killer because
Oh.
that is
No.
messed up.
And the chapters are so short in this book. There were times where it was like I was down to like I was trying to find specific words to like match up the book and the
Oh
audiobook,
yeah,
but it was such a good audiobook.
it's tough.
Was it?
Really?
Yeah,
What was
they
the
did
reader? How did the reader do the robot voice?
very
Oh, yeah.
robotic. It was so robotic.
Really?
Yeah, I can't even do it. I
Interesting.
can't do it.
Kudos, because in my head it was really bad. I was like, "You will do your job."
That's exactly what she sounded like.
Oh my gosh!
But yeah, I
Wow.
liked it. I
Well,
liked
what
it
would
as
you
an
rate
audiobook.
this book, Michelle?
Me?
Yes.
Michelle.
I liked it. I liked it more than I thought I would. And I really liked the writing. I really liked her writing. I didn't love all the aliases, but it was a fun story. I would give it like a 3.8. Round it up to a
Oh,
4. I would.
Okay.
Because I
wow.
haven't read, well, my one thing with the rating is I'm not calling it. Everyone was like, "Oh, this is a psychological thriller." No, it's not. I don't think it is. I don't think it is at all. I wasn't thrilled. It was just
I wasn't thrilled.
it wasn't a thriller. Like there was no part of
Well,
me that was like nervous when I was reading this and I wanted more of that.
let
I
me
don't know.
pull back the curtain because I just saw
What'd you see?
a review that you liked on Goodreads that
Oh,
says,
did you
Oh
see I liked
no.
it?
"From
Oh
Dusky,
no.
Yeah.
this book made my eyes water.
Yep.
Not from reading, but from rolling my eyes so hard that they almost popped out of their sockets. I was so bored by the half of this book that I skipped to the end."
It's so
Are
funny.
you Dusky? Is
I
this
might-
your person?
Yeah.
I'm Mrs. Smith. writing hate Goodread reviews. I just thought that review was so funny. I laughed out loud.
I love that Goodreads still has this function. Remember on Instagram when you could see what people liked? Like their
Yeah.
history, and it
Mhm.
was like a timeline of that.
Oh
That
yeah.
was an amazing feature.
Bring
And
that back.
props to Goodreads for keeping it real.
Yeah, because I want to see what hate comments people are liking.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that if you follow someone on Goodreads, it's incredibly vulnerable. Like I had
Yeah.
to just straight up confess to you guys that I'm reading Hannah Brown's new book
That's not a
because
confession. I think that's a great book. Why are you
I think it's
embarrassed?
fine.
I have to, I am a mom of two, and there's going to be a point where I can't continue down this path.
Read? What
Wait,
path?
read? What?
path?
Yeah, I'm interested.
Hannah Brown was the
Elaborate.
best
I
bachelorette we
read-
ever had.
Listen, I read this book that got me, like, I read this book and I was like, this is a really good book. And then I read This Summer, what is it? This Summer's Going to Be Different by
Mhm.
Abby Jimenez. She's a new author. It's so good and so cheesy. And then I was like, I'm going to do another. And so I was like, I'm just like, what's on in here? And I was like, Hannah Brown. Perfect.
I don't see anything wrong with it.
Okay.
Okay, Halle Bell, what are you rating it?
I'm going to give this book a 4.5.
4.5.
I really enjoyed it.
Huge.
My only qualm is like those two little things that I mentioned that I wish that we had like a more fleshed out character early on to like get us hooked. Like I wanted to know how complex she was early on.
Mm-hmm.
She felt very like, you know, just singular. Like she just didn't feel very complex to me in the very beginning. And then at the end, I wish that I had known for sure she was going on to do good deeds.
Well, think about it like Dexter,
Yeah, I can't watch that.
Oh, okay. She's a mom. She can't watch Dexter.
Okay.
Okay.
Ellie, what's your review?
Okay. Well, I think so. I'm gonna give it like a 4.83333.
Wow.
So that's what I'm giving it because I have favorites. But this was, I thought, was intriguing. It was something I read, and I know I was planning on coming on the podcast and everything, and I read, and I texted Halle Bell, and I go, "This is the book. I found the book."
Yeah.
And it's something that made me think about it for afterwards. I still think about it. I compare it to other books, and I kind of use some of the tips or the things that she said, like the most common safe code. I'm like, okay. Or if you forget, if you're prone to forgetting if your straightener's still on, you do a little twirl to remember something out of the ordinary. These little tidbits that she says that are very realistic. I'm like, okay.
Wait, can you
and I
list
also like
those?
I should. No, I really should because they're fascinating. And I just liked her character in general, morally gray. She seems so interesting, so smart. I love really, really smart people.
Yeah.
Especially women.
I do too.
So I
love
got
the brains
attached
of
to
this
her.
book.
Yeah.
Yes.
A lot of brains behind this.
Yes. So that's my ranking. But I wouldn't have suggested it if it were less.
Okay.
So.
I was like really, really happy. And I felt like this book fit your personality too. Like if you were to recommend a book, this would be it. This is your book.
Yes.
This is your recommended book.
Yes, this is.
From
and I will stand by
out,
that decision.
This is the book that you tell everyone to read.
Yes. And I was just lucky because, when you get super excited, but you're kind of like embarrassed to tell people or show them, I have you guys hostage because you have to read it. And then we got to talk about it. So it's perfect.
No, this is a perfect book club book.
This is a perfect book club book. And I love that about book clubs because like when you tell someone that, oh, you should read this book and it's your turn to pick the book, like they actually have to read it.
Yeah.
There's an anxiety there. You get a little protective.
I've been going around being like, you guys should read Dune.
No one's read it, Halle Bell.
No one has me like, have you seen this in movies? And I was like, no, do you know me? I'm not going to go see that.
You're going to see it.
Ellie, I went and saw it and fell asleep. I saw it and fell asleep.
I'm not going to. I was like, you know me. Why would you ask?
No, it was a good movie. It was a good movie. I was just so tired.
I don't think I like it. I don't like the sci-fi things.
Well,
it's not about sci-fi.
She's so passionate. She's so passionate.
But this was always my plight because Ellie never liked Harry Potter.
Seriously?
And there was a bunch of
I like the series of Unfortunate Events.
There's a bunch of girls at our school that used to really love it and like took it a totally different direction. But I was over here keeping it real with my love for Harry Potter.
Wow.
You dressed up. What? You didn't keep it real.
I kept it real.
Shots fired.
I liked a series of Unfortunate Events. I loved that book or that series, aka My Life.
Yeah.
And she would tie her little hair up in a ribbon, Violet would. I thought that was so cute.
It's a good one. Should we do it for
You're
book
like,
club?
no.
Yeah, we should. Everyone get their
We
ribbon.
should all do one book everybody would hate. Harry
That's
Potter.
why we did. We've had a lot of indulgence on this book club podcast. We have we'll take it there.
Yeah.
Do you guys know what book you're doing next?
Michelle's like, no,
no, I think we do because we're not afraid to say that we hate something. That's one thing for sure about me and Halle Bell is If we don't
No,
like
but
it,
do you know what book you're doing next? Or are you not allowed to say? Who gets to
Do we
choose?
have?
Which turn are we on?
I thought maybe are we going to do Bridgerton? I don't know. Did you read any of them?
I am almost I'm almost done with the Viscount. I'm on to the next one. I got snagged
By Dune, by
by
Timmy Shalley.
right?
Well, no, I think we've got a couple in the queue.
We've got a
Okay.
couple in the queue. But the queue needs to, you know,
It changes. It needs.
it changes based on the mood, based on who I want to be. You know, like you read who you want to be. And like I
Yes.
really wish I was like, here we go, Covenant of Water. I'm going to read it. Like it's on Oprah
Oh,
Books Club. It's on my to-do read list and I'm like that's
Hallie,
another Halle Bell for another time.
Halle
You
Bell,
know what?
have you
Now I'm a
seen?
Hannah Brown kind of
Have
girl.
you seen that physical book? It is this.
Yeah.
It's this thick. It's
It's
huge.
huge.
It's huge. I'm not reading that. Sorry.
300 pages good for me, you know, and I don't need to prove myself with a 600-page book.
No. I agree completely. I think the last big book I read was ACOTAR, and I listened to it, and it took me 27 hours to listen. Like they're the longest books
What?
ever. They're so long, and for what? That's my hate today is that I didn't like the ACOTAR series. Sorry.
I'm just not gonna go
Ellie
there.
would never because it's so sci-fi or fantasy.
Never. No. I can't.
I
can't.
like these types of books. I've really liked the books that we've read recently. I
Me?
really
Yeah.
like Darling Girls. I really like this. I love a family drama suspense romance.
Yes.
Halle Bell loves a book where sisterhood is revealed in some crazy
Oh,
way.
I love it.
She's like, and
Is that
Amy
the
was her
GPS in
sister.
me? Ellie and I went to an all-girls school, and I feel like it's deep embedded into my heart where I'm like, a sisterhood revealed.
Meanwhile, I'm like, kill someone.
Kill
her off.
Yeah, exactly. I'm more on that. But also, yes, I do understand the like sisterhood thing.
Yeah. What are you reading now, Ellie? Because you read
Oh,
this
yeah,
book a while ago, didn't you?
Yeah.
I did, yes. So I am reading, it was another Reese's Witherspoon, like one of her books, and I forgot what it's called. The cover, it's something like,
Ooh.
what would you do? Something about like, if you could go back in time to stop a murder, would you? But then
Ooh, I love
recently,
stuff like that.
yeah, I really wish I like remembered the title.
Ellie,
Yeah.
this brings us to a good point about going back in time. Have you seen the movie About Time?
Oh my God. It is one of my favorites. Literally Desert Island movie. It's not my usual. I sob
I have
at that
goosebumps.
movie. It is
Ellie.
so good.
It is.
I
Did
love
I tell you I
it.
just found out about this movie? Like
Recently?
when we went to the OBX, we watched it and Greg's brother pulled it out of a hat and he was like, "Let's just watch this." And I was like, "Okay, like Rachel McAdams, sign me up." And then I was like, "My new favorite movie."
And then
This beats Forrest Gump. This beats any other movie I've ever watched.
100% beats Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
When she says the line when he comes in because his father's, spoiler alert, his father's dying, and he's like, "How are you, Mom?" And she goes, "I am totally uninterested in the life without your father." I'm like, that is so good. There's so many good moments in that, and marry someone who was kind. Marry someone who was kind. Like,
it's the best
and
movie
just
I've
live
ever
every
seen.
day.
I
Just live every day like it's your last.
Wow.
And that's not my usual MO movie. You know, Halle Bell, it's not. But I love that. Desert Island movie, for sure.
Yes, 100%. And just so everybody knows, this movie's called About Time. It has Rachel McAdams and a couple of Harry Potter characters.
It's a great cast.
They're caught in the crossfire. Oh, also it's the book is Wrong Place, Wrong Time. I had to look it up because I had to. Wrong Place, Wrong Time.
You know,
it's good.
And About Time, I think it has a book.
Does it really?
I think it has a book attached.
I think so.
Oh.
I think so.
I feel
think
like all
it's a
movies
book
with good
that was written
dialogue
after the movie.
have books.
Well,
yeah. Oh, after the movie. Okay.
Yeah. Yes, I think you're right. and sorry to bring it back to this book that we're supposed to be talking about.
Oh yeah, whoops.
So you guys feel comfortable about the movie? This being turned into a movie?
No, I don't feel
Is it a
comfortable.
movie or is it on
Is it a
Hulu?
show? It's a Hulu.
I
don't
hope
know.
it's a
I don't know.
It's a Hulu.
series. I
When's it
hope
coming
it's a
out?
series.
Oh yeah, I have the big
Octavius-
print. It was cheaper.
Wait.
Spencer.
Amazing.
Wait, is yours big print?
Probably.
Oh my
All-
gosh.
Look, large
all I know
print edition.
Large print
No, mine was just 30% off.
Can you see it from
because
here?
of her tiny Kindle.
Yeah, my tiny Kindle.
Um,
And who would
Octavia
you cast?
Spencer
for
is
who?
producing
Ooh,
this.
that's a great question.
Oh, I don't know.
I think. Do you know Anya Taylor-Joy?
I'm
Yes.
looking her up right
She
now.
would be. She would be Evie, I think. She
Wait,
plays
wait.
in the
Dune.
Queen's Gambit.
She's in Dune.
You think?
She is?
She's in the Queen's Gambit. She's also in one of my favorite movies, The Menu, which is a very, I don't know, cerebral horror thriller thing.
I
Wow.
remember
He is
when
the
that came
definition
out.
of a spy, I think.
She definitely looks like a spy, but she's not at all what I was envisioning.
Who were you envisioning?
Wish I could tell you. I don't know.
That's just
Like
it immediately
Anna
popped up.
Kendrick. Anna Kendrick.
I was thinking Anna
No.
Kendrick. I was thinking
I
Anna
don't
Kendrick.
know.
No,
Is
I
it
was
because she's
thinking
in
Anna
A Simple
Yes.
Favor? Is that
A
why?
simple fate. Maybe.
But she wasn't the badass in A Simple Favor. We all know Blake Lively was.
Yeah.
Holly
Oh,
Bell, I
and
was literally thinking Anna Kendrick.
that's crazy.
Wow.
I'm
Wow.
trying to think for the guy.
For Ryan, I'm picturing that guy that was just in the movie with Sydney Sweeney.
Ooh,
what's his
I know who you're
name?
talking about.
Sydney
Josh-
Sweeney and
No.
what is his name? Please hold. What's that movie
not
called?
I know that movie. It's I just watched it because it was free.
Glenn Powell. Glenn Powell.
Glenn Powell.
Really?
That's
He's
a really
Ryan.
good
He's
call.
Ryan.
He's Ryan.
Why
Oh,
did
but this guy has long hair, no?
No, he doesn't.
No, he does. Remember? Because she
No,
goes to
he-
his friends, and it's like down to his shoulders.
Yeah.
In my brain, he
Wait.
has a short crew cut.
Wait, can we also talk about, so we're all three born and basically raised in the South. Can we talk about when they say it's harder to get in with the friends? Like when she's like, it's harder to get in. And then there is a quote that's like, no one gossips more than something like casserole toting, God-fearing women.
Yeah.
Like, how do you
Yes.
think about the friends?
Put that on
Like-
my
Oh my
gravestone.
The friends were real people. Like they were just like so exactly how it would be meeting a close knit group of friends
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
a tiny town.
Intimidating.
Like
So
it was
intimidating.
just so like, and you just can't blame her for tricking these people because it's just like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, their world is so small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, like, can I be your friend?
Yeah.
I love it.
Who did you
I
guys
love it.
picture for George and Devin? Or maybe just George?
Devin is
George is-
like has glasses and he's got curly, crazy hair.
You know,
And
me,
Who's the
Devin.
guy that plays Spencer Reed in Criminal Minds? Like almost like him.
Oh,
I was-
Matthew
okay.
Gray Goobler, or whatever his name is. Him.
Matthew. Wow, that came out of the back arc.
He's in my
Celebrity
Tumblr
names.
feed from years ago.
From years gone past. I was thinking more Chance the Rapper. What's Chance the Rapper's actor name?
Oh,
What is his name?
Wait, it's
don't ask me.
You got this, Ellie. Come on.
I know. Give me a sec. Now that the pressure's on me, keep
But
talking about something
imagine-
else. I'll blurt it
imagine-
out.
Chance the Rapper with glasses. That's Devin to me.
It's not childish.
Really?
No, it's not Childish Gambino. That's a different one, isn't it?
Oh, Childish Gambino could
Oh.
play this.
Wait, maybe I'm thinking of Childish Gambino.
Yeah,
isn't
I
that
think you are because with the messy hair.
Yeah, now
I
what's
just picture
his?
him as like,
Yeah, no, I'm thinking of Childish Gambino, but I still want to know what his alter ego is. Donald
Isn't-
Glover.
Donald
there we
Glover.
go. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
And that's it.
And there we go. Okay. Sorry, I'm still on this. What about for George?
For
Um,
Mr. Smith.
Mr. Smith.
Like,
Like the
okay,
guy that played in 50 Shades of Grey, almost.
I
Like,
was just thinking
Yeah.
Jamie
what's his
Dornan.
name?
Jamie Dornan.
Okay, there we go. That's who I picture.
I was
Yeah.
thinking
we came
Jamie
up with the
Dornan.
cast.
Wow.
No, we still didn't agree on who she is. But,
Well,
you guys, you outvoted
it's
me.
Anna Kendrick.
It's Anna Kendrick. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
She's too high pitched.
She is a
She
little
can't-
high pitched.
She
And
has
she can
a
just be like,
character slot
"Ooh."
she fits in. I feel like she's.
What about Kristen Stewart? I feel like she's Kristen Stewart.
I could totally see Kristen Stewart doing this.
And she's like, "Oh,
woe is
I'm
me.
really
Oh.
aging."
The song that oh man, Twilight.
I just feel like Kristen Stewart and Anna Kendrick cannot leave their Twilight roles. Like that is who they
No.
are to me.
Oh, I forgot Anna Kendrick. Wait, was Anna Kendrick in Twilight?
Yeah, she was
Yeah,
the popular
She was the
girl.
friend. Yeah. Yeah.
I just
Well.
can't see her doing it.
All right, next on Cover to Cover Girls, Twilight.
Now that's a hot take because
Wow.
Lindsay, my college roommate Lindsay and I, she was here for a girls' weekend and we rewatched every single Twilight and we
That's a
decided
good thing to do.
there should be an age maximum on it. Like you shouldn't be allowed to watch Twilight past the age of 15.
Because of the way
Yes.
it makes you feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's exactly it. Yeah. I could talk about Twilight for hours.
Man. All right, well, but we're not.
Well,
Yeah.
we could.
Well,
but we
let's-
could.
Let's wrap it up.
Let's wrap her on.
Any closing comments on this book? I have one.
I can't wait to see what she does next in adult fiction.
Yeah, I agree. I would love to see her write a spicy book between Mr. Smith and Mrs. Smith.
Yeah, I think she could do something really cool with like family drama. Like
Yeah. No, I agree
my
completely.
favorite topic.
Sisterhood.
Sisterhood, some comedy.
I think I'm going to read one of her young adult rom-coms because I need that.
Oh, report back.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
I'll do that tonight.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
And
All right.
that's that.
All right. Thank you guys so much for listening. And we will see you next time. We do not have our book picked yet, but if you have something that you want us to read, put it in the comments. And thank
It's
you,
Twilight.
Ellie, for joining us.
Yay.
And you guys got a bit of our 10-year secret. Sorry for not sharing the whole thing, but
no
it
one will
involves
ever
us
know.
on the floorboard of a car hiding.
I wish we knew what type
In the
of car that
mountains.
was.
Oh, it was
In the mountains.
wasn't it like a black sedan or something?
was.
My dad
It was-
rented
it was
it,
a
so it
black
has to
sedan.
be something.
It was a
wild.
black sedan. It was such a spy car.
Yeah.
We're spies.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I
wow.
was
All
the
right,
best getaway
guys.
driver.
You were what?
The best getaway driver
Yeah.
in that situation.
I think
Mhm.
we were like, squeal the tires.
I was like, we got to do this now.
How close
She's
we got to
pretending to use
getting
a clutch.
caught. How close? Which just shows that we should never
Oh my
be spies.
gosh. Never. We are not.
The people we were trying to avoid were right by the
They
window.
parked next to us.
We're-
Cut that out. I have to cut it out.
Cut it out.
Oh yeah, wait, you do. No. Cut it. Cut
Spoiler.
it.
Spoiler.
Okay.
Here's
All right, guys. We will see you next time.
All right.
Bye.